Hey, it's Mike again. Let's look about police brutality and all the different incidents that have happened over the last several years. But there's probably been over 10, and there's been 3 this week alone, at least 3, and one that I haven't checked out. But there's the one where a kid, 13, had nobody's found that he had a gun. And when he was shot, he didn't have a gun. A person on a routine traffic stop, because of expired tag or a warrant, he gets shot because he tried to get back in his vehicle. Nobody knows if he was trying to drive off or what, but, there's 2 grown men there, and a woman there, officer. They're all trained. But you gotta pull, what you thought was a taser and shoot him. Why is it always going for violence? Somebody doesn't have a weapon. They have tactical training, physical training that can put people in certain holds without irreparably damaging the person, hurting the person, and subduing them, without killing them, without maiming them. But they don't do that. And especially on communities of color. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyway. But, this type of system's got to change. People have to stop making excuses for these cops. They have to, And there was another situation. I need to look it up before I actually talk about it. There was a white person that was killed recently. And guess who's making, by cops, making a big deal about it? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter are making people aware of that. And that's good. They're not just about black people. They're about marginalized people. But, a white person being treated the same way that the cops are treating black people, they're standing up for that person. That's good. And that's what they ought to do. Like I said before, the saying all lives matter could have worked, but it was certain individuals that decided, Black Lives Matter, we're against that, and we're against all this stuff they talk about, and white people are more important. They took that phrase, so it screwed the rest of us. Let me talk about myself personally a little bit. And cops, police. In my younger days, I was pulled over several times for speeding. Yeah, young and dumb type thing. High school, Anyway, never once was I afraid for my life. Never once did the cop come to my window with a gun drawn. Never once was I yelled at and screamed at from the get-go. That's a difference. I probably got pulled over 5 times for speeding tickets. The only thing I was worried about was getting a speeding ticket and paying it and going on my record. I never had to worry about my life. Now, there was one time that I was pulled over by about 4 cops. And now that I look at that situation, I was in a tenant car, and I was going from a bad neighborhood to a upscale neighborhood, for lack of better words. And they pulled me over at the upscale neighborhood. Kind of seemed when they told me to get out of the car, they kind of had to backtrack, and they were like, we thought you were drinking, you swerved a little. Like, no, you can do a sobriety test, whatever. But I wasn't afraid for my life. I was kind of like, okay, why are all these cops here? But, they all dissipated and nothing happened. And that's good, for me. But how come other people of color, when these situations happen to them, they end up dead, maimed, hurt, assaulted? I know why. That whole white privilege thing that I've talked about before. You're excluded from something you want to be a part of. You're excluded from that brutality. for the most part. Most white people are excluded from that. You know, so I mean, we gotta really look at the difference, because I can point blank say I haven't been worried about that, and I can watch these videos and how they began, and how the cop automatically purchases a vehicle with a weapon drawn, automatically yelling and screaming, automatically giving contradictory instructions, compared to when they pull over a white person and they just, hey, license and registration, da 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 da, for the most part, for what I've experienced personally, that's how they've done with a white looking person like myself, so there has to be a difference, and this has to be changed. People got to stand up and say these police departments have to change their policies. Yeah, they have training. They have the training. They know they're doing wrong. So we need to figure out, is it race? Is it just, the second somebody feels intimidated or, gets nervous around them, they're like, bang, bang? What's going on? Because y'all need to be off the force completely. And they want to make excuses, for these people. If you killed somebody, you killed them, and you're guilty. I mean, when you kill someone that was unarmed, not making a threat towards you at all, it's ridiculous. And, recently with the 13-year-old kid being killed, I think in Chicago, and he was a kid, he was a 13-year-old, is being called a man on Sean Hannity's show on Fox. Really? So you're out and out saying that there's a difference between a white guy and a black kid. Really? And you are just putting it right on the nose that, there's a racial difference in y'all's mind. We gotta get a world that treats everyone equal and not by the color of their skin. It can happen, but a lot of us need to step up and take action. With words, with political things, with activism. Just something. Something's got to give. It's just a thought.